there as well. So there we go in 3, 2, and 1. Well, Gary, welcome back. Mayor's Monday here at WSAU, WSAU.com. Glad to be able to connect with you again here as we talk about what's going on in the fine village of Rothschild down there, which in a bit of I don't want to say you're trying to reimagine yourself down there. You're always trying to reimagine yourself in business like this, but you're also doing your best to attract some new talent, and you got some street projects going on. So we've actually got a lot happening to talk about here today.
Yes. Yeah, it's good to be here, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And first things first, though, I want to talk a little bit about something that I guess, surprised everybody here a couple of weeks ago. One of your big attractions there in Rothschild, the water park at Cedar Creek, closed abruptly. I believe it's going to be about what now, 2 weeks ago.
Actually, it
Now
was Friday. So it
Friday.
was just,
Okay,
yeah, it'll be a week here and
about a,
Friday. So
yeah, a week and a half ago, and I guessing this is kind of an announcement. It blindsided everybody. Did it blindside you as well? And what could the village do in this situation to maybe help that process along and get that attraction open sooner rather than later?
yeah, it did. It was a big hit. Totally blindsided us. I had no clue. No one had contacted us. We have a marketing person that works closely with the hotels, and they hadn't even said anything to her. So I was actually on vacation the day that the news broke, and I had all news media giving me a call. And so I found out with everybody else, unfortunately. So a huge hit, because that is one of the attractions in the Cedar Creek area. Something that we always like to point to, that we had one of the only water parks, up around north of the Dells. And so it's a huge hit. I have reached out and spoke to the CEO of the hotel there, and pretty much what I've gotten is what was on the Facebook page. That's closing definitely right now. I do know from other conversations with them in the past that the big time that they normally made money on it was from Thanksgiving till the end of spring break, and summertime, not as many people utilize it, which made sense. They are looking at everything, and I guess we'll see what happens in the future. But right now, yeah, unfortunately, it's definitely closed, and that's one of the sad things. There really wasn't a lot that the village could do to help with it, because can't use room tax for something like that. They asked me that, and that's a no. And for the village to put money into something like that was pretty difficult. So there really wasn't anything that we could do. We already have an aquatic center, so it's not like we could take over a water park. So
hmm Yeah, exactly. So you've gotten at this point no indication then on when they may consider reopening, if that be after COVID-19 hits sometime later this fall, or like you mentioned, their busy time being right around Thanksgiving there. There's been no indication that way that an announcement on that could be forthcoming.
nope, we'll just have to wait and see. So they did tell me that they'll keep me updated if they change course or anything, but right now, unfortunately, it's closed. So
hmm
it was a
But
bad way to start a vacation day.
I'm sure about that. It's not exactly something that you wanted to hear. But again, now that we know what's going on, you can kind of manage things like that. And again, like you said, hopefully we will be able to have some better news on that coming in the near future. But you mentioned earlier that you do have your own the water park and splash pad, the Schofield Rothschild Aquatic Center. We do know that is opening for the season. Full, not quite full bore, but it maybe, depending on where we're at. You and I have talked about that already. Give us an idea of how those preparations have been going, especially after uh, basically leaving the facility idle for the better part of a year.
Yeah, well, actually, what we're looking at is because it was closed last year, and the Aquatic Center does cost us more money than we bring in. So there's a tax levy that goes with that, both for Rothschild and Schofield. So we took the money that was not utilized last year, and we're using that. We were doing fundraising for a splash pad. Well, because we had all the savings from last year, we're moving forward with the splash pad. It was approved by both the Village of Rothschild and City of Schofield. So the splash pad will go in, except for we still need fundraising for the features on it. So we had enough fundraising and enough money from the two municipalities to put in the base and have all the plumbing and everything ready, that the features just have to be put on. So I have a listing of how much each of the features are. So if any of your listeners are interested in a tax deduction donation, they can give me a call, and we have the different features. Love to have you sponsor one of them. And we still need about $55,000 to do all of the features. Sorry, my lights go off when I don't move enough. And
Right.
so we would need just some more fundraising that we'll be doing, but at least we'll have it in. There'll be water coming out of it. Our goal is to have it in before the pool opens on the 5th of June. And we're looking at the pool. Of course, there'll be different cleaning and making it safe and everything, but the pool should be open like normal here for this summer, and we're really excited about that. So hoping that everything continues to go well with the numbers that we're seeing on the COVID cases, and we'll be able to get the pool open. We are hiring lifeguards and some employees, so if anyone's interested in that, we've done pretty good on finding lifeguards, but definitely give us a call here at the Village Hall if you're interested in a summer job, and we can put you in contact with the Aquatic Center manager. But it's kind of an exciting time because we also are redoing the slide. People had complained about the slide, so the slide will be redone. It will match the mushroom that's there, so it'll be kind of a burnt orange color. The colors are Rothschild, and it will be much better. It won't be so rough when you go down it. So a lot of new additions out there. It'll make it fun for the kids and very enjoyable. So encouraging people to come out this summer and enjoy the pool again.
Yeah, and you mentioned the splash pad fixtures and things like that. You said you're looking for sponsors, and that could be, I imagine, corporate sponsors, a business sponsor, or even foundations, individuals could help along in something like that. Correct?
Correct. The features range from anywhere from a couple $1,000s up to $5,000 a piece. And, even we'll have the donations out there at the pool again, and anyone can donate. Like you said, businesses, corporations, foundations, individuals, anyone. So it'll be a good donation because as they're donated, and as we get the money for them, we'll be adding them immediately as soon as we get the money. It would be wonderful if we could get enough donations to have the features in before it opens. But I've reached out to a few different places, but continually are looking for donations to finish that up. So.
And then you mentioned some of the different protocols that are going to be in place. So when it comes to the outdoor pool season this year, talk about besides the sanitizing and things like that, I imagine you will have to be a little nimble with this, but I think after the last year and how much practice we've gotten with being nimble since COVID-19 hit, being able to change some of those things on the fly is probably going to seem easy compared to all the other things that have had to been changed on the fly here in the last 2.5 years or so.
Right. Well, and the nice thing about the pool is it is outside, so you don't have to worry, as much because you're in the open air. We have the sanitation equipment so we can sanitize. Plus you have the chlorine in the pool that helps. So we're looking at it, being a safe atmosphere. The pool itself holds about 700 people, and on a good day you get around 250 to 300. So it's well below, any thresholds that we would have. So we should be good. Hopefully, we're hoping that we can run like we normally have, that we won't have to turn people away when they come.
And we're also hoping that the weather will be favorable, that you won't have to close on some days as well. So again, you said the pool's not exactly a money-making operation, but you'd still like to bring in a buck or two here or there too, correct?
Yes, for the pool, we love the hot, dry summer, because that gets people in the pool. It's raining and it's cold. That doesn't work as well. We
Not so
noticed a
much,
huge
no.
difference when it's a hot, dry summer. So a hot, dry summer would be nice. It doesn't seem like we've really had one of those for a couple of years. So
might be due.
yep.
And of course, some of the other things that are on your plate as well. It's not all the fun recreational things that we've been talking about. You do have some road work that's going to be done this season. Of course, the standard cliche joke is that once the winter is done, then we do have to go into road work season. Give us an idea of what some of the projects are that people driving through Rothschild are going to need to be aware of once that season does start here in a few weeks.
Okay, we have 3 major projects that we're doing this year. The one that is going to impact people driving through the most, and I think it will be a minor impact, is we're going to put a crossing, a pedestrian crossing, where Military Road goes across by the new Chris gas station, because the trail comes down Military, crosses across Military, and then goes into Cedar Creek. And so we will have a pedestrian crossing right there. We weren't able to get lights. The DOT won't allow us to put lights at that intersection right there. So we're doing the next best thing that they will allow, and that's a pedestrian crossing right at that intersection. And then to go on with that, we have Birch and Division Street, which Birch Street is part of that Cedar Creek Trail area also. So we're doing that, and we have grant funds available on that also to make that trail better along Birch Street. So we'll have that whole trail system a little bit better along there. And in the process, we're redoing some very old roads that need the water and sewer and storm and that redone also. The other big project that we'll be doing is our Lower Schmidt, Lower Egger, and Hazel Streets. We'll be redoing those this year, and that's water, sewer, everything also. So those are very big projects. So a lot of them, the ones that will impact, besides the people that live on those roads, the ones that will impact listeners the most will be when we do the pedestrian crossing, and then Birch Street, if you're using that trail right along there, coming over the bridge and heading into the Cedar Creek area. This summer, that's going to be ripped up as we finish that road and put that trail in. So
yeah, and of course this all comes from funding and things like that from your tax base. And one more thing we wanted to ask you before we let you go, regarding the American Rescue Plan, which just last week, actually, most people got the thing that they cared about most from that, which was that $1,400 deposit right into their bank account, which makes a guy feel rich, if nothing else, for a few hours or so. But a lot of municipalities, a lot of cities, states, and in your case, village, of course, stood to benefit from that. A few $1 million here and there. Have you had the chance to dive into what Rothschild's cut of that is going to be yet? And do you know what that will be used for, if you have?
Well, the initial number that I seen for Rothschild is $520,000. Now, I did hear today on a meeting I was on, we have a McDevco municipalities meeting every Wednesday. And There is a new updated, the Towns Association actually went through and did an update on those numbers and have the actual number. Now, that was supposed to be sent to us, but I haven't received it yet. So I'm trying to find that to know exactly what our number is. I think it's going to go down a little bit from that 500,000 mark, but it's kind of hard right now to say exactly what it can be used for. When, from what I've looked at so far, it looks like you can use it for lost revenue, which we did have lost revenue last year from COVID. And then the other thing is that you can use it for aid for tourism, travel, and hospitality, or some other things, and you can transfer it between jurisdictions and nonprofits. So with that, I'm still waiting for further guidance to figure out what we can do with it. Whereas we know the routes to recovery money that we got last year with the state, because the state was over that, what we could use for it, the federal government had more broad ideas of what you could use it, and then the state narrowed it down. This is federal money, and that pretty much said it, that you have to use it for these certain things. So we'll see a little bit more. I have a meeting on Friday where we're hoping to get more guidance as far as what we can use this for. Once I have that guidance, then I'll take a plan to my board. They're splitting it over 2 years, so we won't get it up front. Within 60 days, we're supposed to get half, and we have until the end of 2024 to spend it all. And then next year we would get the other half once we start spending it.
So in one of those cases where they always say it's better to ask forgiveness than ask permission, you'd rather hang on to this right now and not have to ask for forgiveness later for spending it incorrectly then, correct?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to ask for forgiveness from the federal government. They slap your hands pretty hard, and
Right.
I don't need to be cut off from other grants. So I want to make sure that we do the right thing with the money. So we will make sure what we're spending it on is appropriate for the grant, and make sure that we do our due diligence and research to make sure that that's covered. So
We'll look forward to seeing how all of this plays out. And more importantly, we also look forward to a time when we can have a chat like this and be together in the same room at that time as well.
That would be good. Then my lights wouldn't go off. So
yeah, exactly. We can tell the
sit too
story.
close to the computer. They can't read me. We can sit
Yeah.
further out where they'll know that there's someone here. So
And we
that'll
can
be good. I'm ready for that day. I'm getting kind of tired of being stuck in my office. So
we can also get the story. Could you actually show us? You've got that autographed Green Bay Packers jersey. I think it's behind you in the office, correct? Is that the coolest thing in your office?
Move it if you can see.
There it is.
It's my pride and joy. It's Vince Beagle. I'm friends with the Beagle family, and my son and his wife are friends with Vince and his wife. And for my birthday a couple of years ago, my kids went and bought a jersey and then asked Vince if he would autograph it, which he did. And it's kind of my pride and joy hanging up there. Still upset that the Packers cut him. I did find out last night, though, that the Dolphins re-signed him again. So,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so he was with the Dolphins. He got hurt last year. Those that are Badger fans and know Vince Beagle, he will be, I had heard that he's signed back with the Dolphins. My wife told me last night that she heard from the family. So that's good to know.
Absolutely.
So yes, that is one of my pride and joys there. So
is that the coolest thing in your office?
Yeah, I think so.
I would say so. We'll take your word on that. Well, again, Gary, we appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to chatting again in the future.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Have a good day.